Real nice young man. I like this kid. You're going to like him too. He has a lot of talent. Very good racer. Gonna have a seat. Now we don't have quite as far to go back here to talk about your driving, or maybe we do because you started at a little earlier age than a lot of us.
Yeah, still not that far back. Started when I was 8. That's just the tip of the iceberg for a lot of you guys. I mean, 11 years back.
That's pretty good though. You've been driving 11 years. You're age 19 now. You started in the quarter midgets up here at the Speedway.
Yeah, that helped a lot when I started, like I said, when I was 8. That kind of gave me the basics when I started racing the bigger cars. But there was a lot of good years racing quarter midgets. That was probably some of the most fun racing I've ever had. It wasn't, I mean, it was serious, it was competitive, but it wasn't as serious as it is now. And it was kind of, you know, you got to go to the track every weekend and see your buddies from different states. But yeah, that was a lot of good years.
You probably made a lot of friends with some of the kids running the quarter midgets, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot of friends. And it's neat to watch the other drivers that I raced quarter midgets with. A lot of them moved up. Some of them are very competitive now. I raced with Jeff Burton's son a little bit. Some other good drivers.
I think Bobby Labonte had a son that was driving the quarter midgets too, didn't he?
Yeah, Bobby's son. I think he was a little bit older than me. So when we finally started traveling around more, I think he was kind of getting out of it and moving up to like the Bandits and stuff. But yeah, it was neat. There was definitely a lot of good talent in quarter midgets.
Yeah, that's a great training ground.
Yeah, it is. It gives kids a chance to, you know, do a pretty safe form of racing. Go-karts and stuff, you know, like open go-karts, they're neat. They're not quite as safe as quarter midgets, in my opinion. And then, you know, of course, motocross and stuff. But it's a great starting place.
Yeah. I know that's how Denny Bonebrake got his start. He raced a quarter midget back when he was a kid. Sam, did you ever drive a quarter midget? No. You didn't do that? You want to ask Arlene to be sure? Okay. I know Wesley Bonebrake drove a quarter midget for several years too. It's a great training ground and really a neat deal. Now you started up here at Hagerstown, of course, but then you got running so well, you got traveling around and got out on the road with the quarter midget.
Yeah, we traveled around a lot for quarter midgets, even more than what we do now. Quarter midgets they kind of did like a point series. It would be almost like the World Outlaws for late models. But yeah, it was neat. We got to go to Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Went down south a little bit, mostly west. Though. It was neat. We got to go to a lot of different places. I got to see a lot of the country that I probably wouldn't have seen years down the road, even if it wasn't for that.
There you go. Well, tell us who helped you get started in racing here, the family connection, and who's owned your race cars from day one?
Definitely my Uncle Dougie. If it wasn't for him, we definitely wouldn't be racing now. I might have been able to do quarter midgets when I was younger, but as far as the financial side of it, we could never make it without my uncle. You know, very thankful for that. Racing today it's a lot different than what it used to be. Like you were talking earlier, you know, you could get a car out of the junkyard, small block Chevy, and race it. So it's not like that anymore. No,
things have changed. There's no doubt. It's a pretty expensive hobby.
Yeah, it is. You definitely have to have somebody to back you. Like I said, I'm just fortunate for my uncle.
And for those of you that don't know, Uncle Dougie is Dougie Timmons, and Dougie and his wife Julie are behind this kid 100%. Their whole family, your grandmother and grandfather come to the races all the time. I don't know that your grandmother's ever missed a race that you've been in, has she?
They might have missed one or two maybe, but they're pretty much at all. Yeah, we'll give them a freebie.
Yeah, if I see you at the races, I see her there.
Yeah, it's.
I think it's neat how the whole family backs you though. They all come and you know they're behind you and supporting you, good night or bad night. So that's what it takes. Because there's going to be a bad night here or there.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable with racing. There's going to be good nights and bad nights.
That's right. That's all part of it. I tell everybody just racing's like a clock. Somebody's hand's going up, somebody's hand's going down.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So after the quarter midget days, and you sort of outgrew that, you moved over into the stock cars. Tell us how things worked out there. How I know they were sort of grooming you, and I know that they had said for years he was going to drive their late model car when he got old enough, and that's exactly what they did.
It was definitely a big change, a little bit more than I expected. The biggest thing was the competition level, and obviously the cars, 10 times the size. But even more now, as we move up into the late models, the competition is it's so tough nowadays. Everybody's pretty competitive. Everybody's got about the same stuff. And, now I'm the young guy.
Yep.
It's a lot of guys have a good bit of experience over me, and just trying to gain respect from the older drivers and stuff. It was a tough transition. I'm still learning a lot. I still have a lot to learn. But hopefully we have a lot of years with the racing.
Yeah, you hold your own very well. You can run with anybody. I've seen you run with the best in the country. Up here opening day, it was practice day at Hagerstown, and that was the first day he'd driven the super late model. And he asked me what the difference was. I said, well, it's kind of like you're paddling downstream in a boat. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, with them limited cars, you're going downstream, but you're dodging a rock here, a branch there, a piece of wood there. I said, with these super late guys, you just row that boat as hard as you can row it. You just don't worry about those guys will race you right. How's that worked out?
That's pretty true.
That was about right on, wasn't
Yeah, it is.
There you go. There you go. I think right now, how are you sitting in the points at Hagerstown? I know you've got a shot to win this thing.
I think now we didn't have too great of a run last time we raced Hagerstown. Now I think we're second or third. I don't see exactly, but we fell back a little bit. There's still a couple of races left.
Now, is Gary leading that or is Marvin Winters? I know you three are all real close.
I think Marvin. I think Marvin is now because
He might have took the lead and won that last race.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, you're fighting two good ones there. No shame if either one of those two guys beat you.
No, absolutely not. To run third to them, it's still a good year.
Yeah. But you got 2-point races here. You give it a good shot and see where the chips fall.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure you went to the races and sat in the stands when you were a kid, in between the quarter midget racing. Who did you root for when you were a kid?
I was like Big Nate.
There you go.
And Gary, I like Gary too. My grandma was a huge fan.
There you go.
Not saggy.
He used to boo me.
I like Sagan. Big Joe always
Somebody
liked
used to go and
him.
wave and said one of them's yours.
Yeah.
You drive the late model.
So, what about the rest of the season here? You got, of course, these 2-point races left at Hagerstown. Where you going to get around to a couple of big shows in the fall?
Yeah, we want to try and travel around as much as we can. We might actually take the crate and do some of the bigger races at the end of the year, maybe even the super. We're not really sure yet, but we definitely want to travel around. That was like last year we went to Charlotte with the crate. That was a neat experience.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Kyle went down to Charlotte last year for the big crate nationals in October, and he set fast time against the best crate cars in the country.
That was about it, but it was a good experience.
That was the highlight of your weekend, now. That happens sometimes.
It does.
Yeah. Maybe this time you go back, and the rest of the weekend follows suit like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. But you took a brand new car, and that made things a little tough too.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. I mean, even transitioning from our supercar to the crate car, it's
Different
weird.
power curve.
Yeah, that and even the car itself is different.
Right.
It's tricky.
Yeah, I told your uncle maybe you should have put that crate motor in the car you drove all last year. It would have been a little more familiar to you. When he got back, he said I was probably right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but you did real good.
Yeah.
You made a good showing down there, and I'm sure you're looking forward to going back.
Yeah, we'd definitely like to go back.
Yeah. I know you had a little bad luck this past weekend.
Yeah, we had a little bit of bad luck. The crate one kind of stunk. The transmission acted up towards the end of the feature, but the late model one hurt more than anything because we were going to have a decent run. I think I was running 9th at the time.
That was in Bedford Friday night, that 8,000 to win show. He was up there racing.
Yeah, I think we were running 9th, and it was probably like 20 laps in, and we're starting to get some heat in the tires, a 50-lap race, getting ready to start going, and we got into with another car and spun out, and then a few laps after that.
Well, that wasn't a weed. That was him getting into you. He's being pretty nice to that guy. That guy was a little hard on him.
It's hard to point fingers when you don't have a mirror.
Yeah. After the race, he looked at me. I said, that wasn't your fault. I said, that guy got in your quarter panel, and he either didn't get out of the gas or he found some more. I said, because he just turned you around like a top. And he said, I wonder what happened. There wasn't anything he could do, but then he was starting to come back up through the field and had a little mechanical issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't understand you were probably going to win at Winchester Saturday night in the parade. That transmission broke. You had a good shot at it.
Yeah, we were running second, and I think it was about halfway through the race, but it was going to be a good race. That kind of stunk too. Yeah, it was under caution. We're getting ready to go back green. I bumped into low and couldn't get it back in the high, but it was going to get interesting.
That's what I heard. Anybody out here in the audience have any questions for Kyle? Don't everybody stand up at one time. Don't be shy, this is your big chance. I thought maybe your girlfriend might ask you a couple questions here. Put you on the spot.
Can't lie on the spot, right?
Yeah, there you go. I was going to tell you there's a fire exit right over here if you answer wrong.
His favorite track so far.
There you go, there's a good one, your favorite track so far.
Favorite track? In the area of Port Royal is tough to beat. That's a really nice track. Pittsburgh was a neat track too.
I thought you might say Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was neat. Charlotte, enjoyed Charlotte a lot. I like the bigger tracks more. I know some guys like the small tracks. We usually struggle on them though.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like the bigger tracks.
So you pretty much like any of them that are round and brown.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Whichever one you're on that next night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you ran Lernerville?
No, that's definitely on the bucket list. I'd like to run Lernerville.
Where all have you raced so far, Kyle? Do you remember?
Sealing Grove.
I know they've taken you a lot of different places here. For the short time you've been in a late model car, Dougie likes to get you out and get you seat time, which I think has really
Yeah.
accelerated your learning curve. It's been good.
That definitely makes a big difference.
Yes.
You get to race at different tracks and different drivers too, but
Right.
Sealing Grove, Clinton County, Heston, Bedford, Hagerstown, Forest, Winchester, Port Royal,
Williams Grove.
Williams Grove. I actually got my first win there.
There you go.
Charlotte. I think I got Pittsburgh. I'm sure there was one or two on this. There was, what's that? Lincoln? No, we haven't got to Lincoln yet. We want to run Lincoln.
Path Valley,
What's that?
Path Valley.
Path Valley, yeah, I forgot Path
There
Valley.
you go.
Cumberland, we want to run Cumberland, but we haven't got there yet.
Hey, you got to get up there to support the pros. You're doing a fine job up there at that racetrack.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're all glad to see that track back.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you can win 51 up there, you can tie Stuller.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to make at least 50 couple trips.
Any long-term plans, maybe going down to Daytona, weekend racing, the street race down there?
Yeah, we thought about it. It'll definitely be in our thoughts this winter. It's neat that they do something like that to give you a chance when you start to get the itch, you know, you're halfway through it and you're ready to do some racing. But we might this year. We talked about it a good bit last year, but we just didn't go through with it.
I remember Big Doug told me that y'all were thinking about taking the crate car down there, but
Yeah.
things just didn't quite work out.
Nah, we'll see how it goes this year. Maybe if the car's done just sitting there, it'll be a lot easier than when you got it all tore apart and you gotta do this and this and this.
How about getting off work to go race like that? Tell these people what you do for a living.
I would probably be able to get off work. Some of it's tough sometimes. I'm a diesel mechanic at a shop that just started up, and there's only 4 or 5 of us, and we're really busy. It's just it's tough now with work.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's tricky having a job where you can get away to go do that type of race.
Yeah, it is.
You know. Anybody else have any questions?
He needs a job like you have.
There you
I've
go.
never seen a guy get off so much.
What's the
So
secret?
Wednesday, you're off.
If there's a race, I'm
You
off.
work for me, I'd have fired you.
Yeah,
I go along.
that's why I never asked to work for you. Joe, it's not always what you do, it's what you know.
Oh, is that
That's
it?
true.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I must not to move too much, because I'm still hanging out with you.
All right, well, one other guy we forgot to talk about here tonight, and that's your dad. I thought he'd be here. What's his excuse?
He had a long road trip with work or something, I believe, something along those
Okay.
lines. But yeah, he's definitely a big part of racing. He puts a lot of time in, a lot of time. And that's a big part of it too. Some people don't realize how much work it takes to race a car every weekend. You get tore up or motor blows up. It's a lot of work if you want to race that weekend.
His dad's his crew chief on the cars. He has been from day one. That's what I felt's kind of neat about their operation. They've been together with Dougie owning the cars and his dad working on them since he was a kid. And I know your dad still works on the quarter midgets for your younger brother.
Yeah,
That's him doing that now.
yeah, he's starting to get pretty into that too.
Yeah.
He's getting better.
So you got to keep stepping up here. If the younger one comes along, he might bump you out of the seat.
He's got ways to get.
There you go. Attaboy, gotta be confident. All right, well, Kyle, thank you very much for coming out and spending a couple hours with us this evening.
Thank you, Alan. Learned a lot of history tonight being here, and like you said, you get a free meal.
There you go. Before you go, just want to, a little token of appreciation we have here for you. We have something here from Mr. Jeff Lindsay. And I'd like to call Sam Nally back up too. Arts Club's going to fix you up here, compliments of Mr. Lindsay. Jeff, you want to come up and meet these guys? Okay. We'll send them over to see you. Got a real nice drawing of Kyle's cars. It's got his super late model and his crate car. Go ahead and show it to the,
Wow,
it's nice, isn't it?
that's awesome. That's very impressive. I couldn't imagine all the time. You had to put in that. Thank you very
How
much.
about that? And Sam, we really got one here for you, pal.
Oh, my.
What do you think of that?
Wow, that's great.
Surprise, surprise, huh?
Yes.
You weren't expecting that, were you? Show that to the people. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, darn right. Darn right. How good.
I rode in that one a few times.
Did you, the N2?
About that tall.
Yeah?
Going down Beach Orchard Road.
I'll be darned.
Dirt road. Lived right around the corner.
What would he do? Would he take the car out to, test it on the road?
Yeah.
Or you were just doing it for fun, take you for a ride?
About a mile dirt road up.
I'll be darned. I'll be darned. Now, was that his own car with the
Yes,
S
he
on it?
got that.
Okay. I didn't know that until I had seen the picture that Jeff drew. And I always knew your dad drove the S3, but I saw the N2, I thought it
This
was that.
was his into,
You know,
yep. Got that picture.
that's all right. isn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We're going to get a couple pictures of you there.
Oh,